Magic Emperor Chapter 876. Exalted He Ran looked toward Elder O and said calmly, "Go check things out if the Lu Alliance group is actually capable. Let them take that spot, as it'll be good for the western lands too." Elder O quickly bowed to accept the order. Then everyone discussed a few minor details before quickly heading out. Wu Qingqiu and Yelin's group left the heaven-reaching pavilion for Clear Spring Waterfall, chatting about how helping the Luo family join the 9 major sects would definitely put Brother Chu's soul at ease in the afterlife. Yan Mo shook his head with a laugh, saying that while he wasn't sure how Zhuo Fan would feel, he considered himself a worthy rival and believed this news would help Xu Qingchen relax a bit. Yailin gave a soft sigh and noted that, judging by Xu Qingchen's attitude, she probably didn't care much for these empty titles. Yan Mo gave Yailin a knowing smirk, and asked why he was so stubborn about tagging along when he knew Xu Qingchen wasn't exactly thrilled to see him. Yailin snorted and replied that visiting was his own choice and had nothing to do with Yan Mo's supervision. Wu Qingqiu chuckled to himself, and reminded the two to knock off the bickering since they had arrived. An elegant little house stood before them, but as they stepped into the courtyard, they saw Shui Ruohua and Danner standing frozen at the door with looks of pure grief and terror. Wu Qingqiu's group rushed over in a panic to check on them and were just as stunned by the scene inside the room. A beautiful woman leaned against a bedpost with a sorrowful expression, her snow-white hair fluttering gently in the breeze by the window, creating a heartbreaking sight. Roar! Massive roars echoed, shaking the rolling hills of the Allbeast mountain range and the Taiyanute Empire, a death trap packed with spirit beasts where even the strongest cultivators could lose their lives if they wandered into the core area. Rumor has it that the deep reaches of these mountains house ferocious beasts no cultivator can stand against, turning the place into a mysterious land where any daredevil who enters ends up dead in the deep woods. However, right now, a man in black robes was casually strolling into the mountain's core, ignoring the threats from the surrounding spirit beasts until a few aggressive monsters lunged at him. The moment the beast got close, something strange happened. The man kept walking without lifting a finger, yet the monster suddenly dropped dead as he just gave a mysterious smile and kept moving. The strange man's presence terrified the spirit beasts, and though many from low to high ranks, even 3 level 7 beasts tried to attack, they were all wiped out in the blink of an eye for no apparent reason. The spirit beasts began to feel pure horror toward this man, throwing the once lively mountains into chaos as animals fled, and only when the area fell dead silent did a true king finally show up. A massive roar boomed, demanding to know who dared trespass on the Allbeast mountain range, while a giant shadow blotted out the sky and exerted a crushing pressure. A giant 3-headed bird with blazing blue flames on its head glared furiously at the man, radiating a terrifying pressure that seemed to freeze the surrounding space. The man in black gave a confident smile, and greeted the 3-headed strange crow without even looking up, commenting that it still had its old flair. The 3-headed strange crow was shocked and asked how this man knew its identity. Zhuo Fan smiled, revealing his familiar face, and reminded the crow about how it once led him and young Sensi to see Senior Kunping back in the day. Recognizing Zhuo Fan, the 3-headed strange crow quickly landed and apologized profusely for the poor welcome, explaining it only came out to check after hearing reports of an intruder. Zhuo Fan waved it off and told the crow to take him to see Kunping. The 3-headed strange crow hesitated, explaining it needed to ask its master first, while advising Zhuo Fan to wait since he was being protected by the azure flame. Zhuo Fan smiled as he caught the crow's sarcasm, realizing it was low-key hinting that he could only walk around safely because of its master's flame, not his own strength. Zhuo Fan gave a cold laugh and asserted his close ties with Kunping, then told the beast to just lead him straight in without all the red tape. The 3-headed strange crow flatly refused because the mountain rules were strict, fearing that bringing a guest in unannounced would piss off its master and put its life on the line. Zhuo Fan sighed at the delay and suggested the crow just take him in anyway, promising to take all the heat by saying it had been forced by him. The 3-headed strange crow scoffed at that, thinking a puny human could never kidnap a level 9 spirit beast like itself, especially since it also possessed azure flame power just like Zhuo Fan. Zhuo Fan didn't argue and just smiled, but a moment later, his expression went cold, and a surge of pitch-black lightning flame erupted from his left eye, radiating an incredibly destructive pressure. Boom! A massive mountain suddenly slammed down, hitting the 3-headed strange crow to the ground, while its azure flame was completely snuffed out by this overwhelming power. The 3-headed strange crow was absolutely terrified to see its supposedly invincible chaos azure flame easily subdued by a human, something it thought was impossible for such a primal power. The beast trembled as it looked into the flame in Zhuo Fan's eye and realized he possessed a power that could wipe out even a sacred beast, causing it to lose all will to fight and sink into pure fear. Zhuo Fan gave a slight smirk and lightly stepped on the beast's back, asking if it finally had enough of an excuse to tell Kunping it had been kidnapped. The once proud level 9 spirit beast of the Allbeast range could now only bow its head in absolute terror before Zhuofan's power. Zhuofan withdrew the lightning flame and looked casually toward the horizon, ordering the beast to start leading the way.